can technology ever replace human connection? The internet has changed the way we communicate in fundamental ways, and I think that overall it's been a good thing, but it has its downsides. This question is important because it affects how we live our lives every day, and if we don't have a handle on how to use these tools, they could easily cause us to lose our ability to connect with other people deeply, and in turn, lose ourselves. When it comes to connecting with people one-on-one, I actually think that technology can help us do that better. Tools like video calls make it easier for us to get FaceTime with friends and family who might be far away. And messaging apps allow us to check in with each other throughout the day. If someone's on the other side of the country, you can see their face when you talk to them, and maybe even see what they up to in real time. That kind of communication feels more intimate than just texting back and forth. The fact that we can stay connected throughout the day instead of waiting until nighttime to call can also bring us closer together. We're able to celebrate small wins and comfort each other during tough times much more easily. So I think that technology has helped us improve the quality of our one-on-one relationships. However, this doesn't mean that it's completely good. For example, there are now services where you can hire people to pretend to be your friend and interact with you, and these interactions can feel pretty realistic. The person on the other end might ask you how you doing and what you up to. They might even remember details about your life and bring them up later on, but it's not a real friendship. It's an act and nothing more. You'll never get to experience the genuine warmth that comes from a heartfelt apology or a long overdue thank you. Instead, you're buying a performance that's designed to trick you into thinking that you have a friend. These interactions don't leave you feeling fulfilled and connected. Instead, they highlight what you're missing. You might even find yourself feeling worse off because you were reminded of something that you need but can't quite get. I think that this is an extreme example, but there are many ways that technology keeps us from connecting with others. In general, a big issue is that it pulls our attention away from the people around us and puts it on our devices instead. A common sight at restaurants now is groups of friends on their phones while they're eating. And this is unfortunate because meal times used to be a very important part of many cultures. There was a lot of emphasis on enjoying food together and talking through the experience. When we focus on our phones instead of on the people around us, we're sending a message that we value our devices more than we value our friends. It's hard to build a deep connection with someone when you're not fully present, and this is why I'm not a fan of taking work calls or Zoom meetings during meals. It seems that some people are so caught up in their careers that they even take a break to enjoy a meal with their colleagues. Another downside to technology is that it allows us to curate our online image without really investing too much effort into getting to know those around us. On social media sites, we can put our best foot forward by only sharing positive parts of ourselves. And when we do this, we might even feel a sense of validation that we would normally struggle to get in real life. That can make it feel like we VA made a connection when all we VA really done is put up a facade. It's like when you meet someone new, and instead of asking them questions about themselves, you just tell them about your job, where you went to school, and the volunteer work you do. All of this might make you seem impressive, but it doesn't really lead to a deep connection. The same thing happens when we only share certain parts of ourselves on social media. If we look at history, we can see that this isn't a new phenomenon. We've always had ways to make ourselves seem more impressive. For centuries, people have cultivated an outward appearance to convey wealth and status. How we decorate our homes, dress and furnish our offices are all ways that we signal who we are. But there is a difference between projecting an image based on our actual qualities and projecting an image that we crafted to gain validation. When we do the former, we're showcasing aspects of ourselves that are already developed. When we do the latter, we might end up doubling down on the traits that we trying to cultivate simply because we want to appear a certain way. For example, let us say that you decide to pursue medicine because you want to be seen as smart and capable. Then after you become a doctor, you start to identify yourself primarily as a doctor, even though you might have other qualities that are equally important. A big danger is that we may start to define ourselves based on how we want others to see us, instead of based on who we are. So I think that technology makes it more likely that we have shallow connections with others, because it allows us to build up an online persona without developing ourselves in real life. One of the biggest issues that I see is that many people are pursuing things like fame or recognition simply because they want to feel validated. And since most people aren't willing to put in the work to develop themselves deeply, they end up feeling unfulfilled. A prime example of this is people who pay for views or followers on social media platforms. They might even buy robots to increase engagement on their posts. It's almost like they're paying for validation. And once they get the numbers that they want, they still don't feel fulfilled. Many of these individuals are famous for being famous. They're recognized by many people, but few of those people can claim to know them on a personal level. It's almost like they're ghosts. They're haunting the internet, trying to make an impact, but never really connecting with anyone deeply. But there's hope, because most people don't have to go through life alone. We all have someone who loves us no matter what, and that person is willing to accept us for who we are, not who we want to be. If we want to strengthen our ability to connect with others, we should take a page out of their book. But it's not enough to just be loved by someone. We also need to be willing to love. In order to connect with another person, we have to be vulnerable. And this means exposing ourselves to the risk of pain. If we're unwilling to expose our vulnerabilities, we'll protect ourselves by building up walls around our hearts. And when we do that, we can't expect others to break down those walls. To build meaningful connections, we have to be willing to tear down our own walls and reach out to others. Unfortunately, many of us have been hurt in the past, Maybe we were abandoned as children or left by a partner. Those experiences are painful, and it's natural to want to protect ourselves from that kind of pain in the future. But in psychology, there's something called the paradox of change, which states that in order to grow, we must first choose to be in a state of discomfort. If we refuse to embrace vulnerability, then we'll miss out on opportunities to build deeper connections. So, if we want to strengthen our ability to connect with others, we need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. It can be scary to open up to others, but if we don't, then we'll miss out on the benefits of human connection. A great way to practice being vulnerable is to join a group of people who share a common interest. That way you'll have something to talk about and won't have to worry about making small talk. After spending time together, you can try opening up about a fear or a concern that you have. If you're worried that people will judge you, remember that these are strangers and they're likely dealing with their own problems. If you want to be vulnerable, go ahead and share. You might find that it feels really freeing, and in turn, you'll be able to connect with others who have similar worries. Ultimately, I don't think that technology can ever replace human connection. Yes, it can help us stay connected to the people in our lives, but it can't replicate the feelings that we get from in-person relationships. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that we make time for the people around us. If we show them that we value them, they'll be more likely to reciprocate. I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, please hit the like button and share it with a friend. Also, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that technology can ever replace human connection? As always, thanks for watching.